In solo leveling, the Frost Monarch suddenly materializes in Chairman Go Gun-hee's office, catching him completely off guard. Gun-hee wonders if any meaningful conversation is even possible with this intruder. He quickly realizes he couldn't sense the Monarch's presence at all upon arrival, confirming that this isn't an opponent he can handle alone. The Frost Monarch calmly informs him that the room has already been sealed off from the rest of the world, cut off from any outside interference. Gun-hee briefly considers whether he might be dreaming, but that thought vanishes the moment he's shot in the shoulder by a sudden burst of ice. Glancing down, he watches as the frost spreads, glowing an ominous blue. The Monarch coldly remarks that if this were truly a dream, Gun-hee wouldn't be able to feel the pain. That confirmation snaps Gun-hee into full awareness. This is very real. Demanding once more to know who the intruder is, Gun-hee gets a cryptic answer. The Frost Monarch says he was hoping Gun-hee would recognize him without the need for introductions, but alas, he's just a human. Shrugging off the comment, the Monarch states that he has no interest in toying with weaklings and commands the fragment of brilliant light hidden within to reveal itself. The Monarch taunts if he is concerned about the vessel, but brushes it off, saying it's bound to shatter eventually. He begins charging an attack, adding that if it is so afraid of damage, then there's no point in continuing the conversation. With that, he unleashes a powerful blast, enveloping the room in an icy explosion. From the cloud of smoke, the Frost Monarch retaliates with another blast of ice. As it hurtles toward Gun-hee, he casually backhands it, redirecting the attack with ease. At that moment, the true entity inside Gun-hee, the fragment of brilliant light, emerges. He applauds the Monarch's cleverness in isolating the office and trapping them inside a dimensional rift. The Monarch reveals he's been searching for the brilliant light for a long time, but he never thought it was trapped in a fragile vessel unable to use its power. Then comes the real shock. They've already located all 7 fragments of luminosity, and 2 have already been destroyed. The Frost Monarch sneers, admitting he came not just to destroy luminosity, but to see the humiliation on his face before ending him. Now satisfied, he prepares to finish the job. But luminosity isn't going down easily. He snarls back, daring the Monarch to try. Despite being bound to a human vessel, he won't go down without a fight. And so, the clash begins. The Frost Monarch crosses his arms and unleashes a torrent of ice toward luminosity. But instead of dodging, fragment of brilliant light smashes through the attack with a brutal headbutt and rushes forward, throwing a punch. The Monarch sidesteps and counters with an ice spike launched from his chest, but luminosity evades effortlessly and fires back with a sharp left hook. Blocking with a raised palm, the Monarch freezes luminosity's arm on impact. Yet luminosity, radiating power, shatters the ice and seizes the Monarch, sending both of them darting around the room at breakneck speed. Realizing his time in this human form is limited, luminosity prepares one last, devastating blow. The Frost Monarch conjures an icy barrier to defend himself, but luminosity blasts through it, sending him crashing across the chamber. The effort takes a toll. Breathing heavily, luminosity drops to one knee, questioning whether this is the limit of his power in this broken body. Realizing that his vessel has reached its limit, the Frost Monarch scoffs, calling him pathetic before vanishing into thin air. Suddenly, he reappears in front of luminosity, driving a spear of ice straight through his vessel's chest without hesitation. Mocking him further, the Monarch questions how long it will take to secure another vessel, warning that their army have already assembled, and this world will be reduced to ashes before he ever returns. He coldly states that luminosity's biggest mistake was trying to shield this world. Did he honestly believe he could win without his sentinels? But luminosity isn't shaken. Smirking as he grips the Monarch's arm, he responds. Did the Monarch truly think he fought him without a reason? Just as they failed to foresee others stepping into the roles of the fragmented light, there was something crucial they overlooked. Perplexed, the monarch demands to know what he means. But before he can react, luminosity surges with power and hurls an explosive strike. The monarch barely evades it, the blast smashing into the wall behind him. The frost monarch smirks, brushing off the close call. Meanwhile, luminosity, drained from the effort, watches closely. The monarch snickers, asking if it was his trump card. Luminosity confirms it as cracks ripple through the barrier, which then shatters with a flash. With urgency in his voice, he shouts, "Now!" A single shadow ant charges through the breach. Fleeing the ruined office, the monarch chuckles to himself. What could one lone soldier from the abyss possibly achieve? But then, he sees it, an afterimage. Panic flashes across Blue Grandpa's face as realization hits. He bolts toward the window. Soaring outside, he raises his blade to strike the charging ant. But before the weapon can land, a massive shockwave tears through the air. The monarch's blade is halted mid-swing. His eyes widen in disbelief. A single hand has stopped him. Standing firm, Sun Jinwoo locks eyes with the monarch, his grip unrelenting. "Who the hell are you?" he demands. The Frost Monarch takes note of the immense army under Jinwoo's command and wonders aloud why the Shadow Monarch never reached out to them, even after gathering such a powerful force. As Jinwoo reflects, a memory surfaces, the ice elf he couldn't extract. It hits him that he had unconsciously been ignoring this clue. The monarch, watching intently, realizes that Jinwoo himself was the missing element he had failed to account for. As he begins to charge up his power, frost envelops Jinwoo's arm. The Frost Monarch releases a chilling blast, launching Jin high into the air. Questioning whether he is a mage type, Jin summon a dagger and effortlessly break free from the ice. Frost Monarch tells him he's not here to fight with his life on the line. The Frost Monarch asks if Jinwoo came to save a particular human. At that moment, Jinwoo realizes he's referring to the insect he had stationed on Chairman Go Gun-hee for protection. Looking up, he sees the chairman weakened and barely conscious, near a shattered window. As Jin rushes toward him, the monarch raises an ice blade and forces Jin to make a choice: face him in battle or save the chairman. Without hesitation, the monarch hurls an ice spear. Jinwoo quickly tries to intercept it using ruler's authority, but the Frost Monarch's resistance to magic renders it ineffective. Just as it nears the chairman, Jinwoo appears in front of it, deflecting the spear with his dagger and sending it crashing into a nearby building. As he turns around, he spots the monarch attempting to retreat. Jinwoo summons his daggers and uses Dagger Rush to pierce the monarch's shoulder. Enraged that a mere vessel wounded him, the Frost Monarch declares that he will withdraw, for now. He warns Jinwoo that the next time his shadows open a path, he'll return, and leaves the dying chairman as a twisted gift for Jin's army. Frustrated that he couldn't intervene sooner due to the barrier, Jinwoo kneels beside the chairman, knowing that a simple potion won't save him. He calls Baru, who rushes to the scene, and commands him to heal Gun-hee. After attempting to do so, Baru regretfully reports that his healing has no effect. Realizing time is running out, Jin considers using the holy water of life. But before he can act, Gun-hee grasps his hand and asks him not to waste it, expressing gratitude for Jin's presence. Jin insists on taking him to a hospital, but the chairman quietly explains that it's no use. The damage from the attacks is beyond recovery. In his final words, Gun-hee shares that he made contact with a supreme being and uncovered their greater plan. He expresses relief that Jinwoo is now part of that fight. Thanking him again for his strength, he explains that the gates and dungeons were never intended for humans. They were tools created by the rulers to shield them. He urges Jinwoo to choose a side and hopes he will stand with humanity. He confesses that he always wished to fight beside young hunters like Jinwoo, though his failing body never allowed it. Still, he has no regrets, knowing he can now entrust the future to the next generation. As his strength fades, his grip loosens, his arm drops, and a final tear slips down his cheek. At that instant, the surrounding frost crumbles, and the damaged barrier collapses. On a sad day in solo leveling, during Go Gun-hee's funeral, Jinwoo quietly approached Jin-chul, asking how he was holding up. Jin-chul, visibly shaken, apologized for not being himself. Still processing the loss, he asked whether the creature that took down the chairman was truly unstoppable, even for Jinwoo. It all felt surreal to him, especially since just a day ago, the chairman had expressed interest in hearing more about Jin-chul's experience in the U.S. He sincerely thanked Jinwoo for standing by the chairman in his final moments. But Jinwoo denied any praise, declaring instead that he had failed, and swore on his life that he would personally hunt down and eliminate the monster responsible for the chairman's death. He then instructed Jin-chul to gather the press for an official announcement. Even with limited space, the press room was swarming with reporters. Drawn by urgency and curiosity, they crowded in, eager to hear Jinwoo's words. A highly intelligent monster faction was actively targeting the world's top-ranked hunters. These creatures weren't just powerful. They were vastly superior to most hunters, immune to traditional weapons and unconcerned with conventional methods of killing. One reporter asked if the monster that had killed the chairman was part of this faction. Jinwoo confirmed it, explaining that these beings excelled at disrupting teleportation magic and isolating their victims, making escape or assistance nearly impossible. He urged those who felt vulnerable to stay close to trustworthy allies capable of defending them. Jinwoo recalled that the creature had introduced itself as the Monarch of Frost. Thinking back to the Monarch of the beginning, he came to a chilling realization. Anyone who claimed the title of Monarch was far beyond the reach of even the strongest hunters. These weren't just powerful enemies. They were on another level entirely. Addressing those who had no one to turn to, he invited them to reach out through the Korean Hunters Association.